All right, so this is another question. This one actually came in through Instagram, and it is from Charlotte_704love. The question or the comment was, would love to see your way of making mac and cheese. Laugh emoji. Egg or no egg, Velveeta or various cheeses. Which seasonings do you use? Panko, breadcrumbs on top, etc. I do all of the above. It just kind of depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. So I am not afraid to go get me some good old-fashioned box macaroni and cheese, but I will say if I'm going to make a box macaroni and cheese, I prefer shells. Like I think most of the long noodles and the macaroni ones are gross. I also think the ones with like the Velveeta style cheese are a lot better than the ones with the cheese powder. I just think that there's not enough cheese powder or cheese flavor in those. But I never just eat this as is. I always have this and then I'll add in any combination of blended kind of like cheddar, Monterey Jack cheeses. Sometimes I sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan in there. I always add an extra tab of butter. And if I have half and half or cream, I always add a little extra dash of that as well. So I never just eat this straight out the box. Now on holidays, if I'm making macaroni and cheese, then I will make that straight from scratch. And I'm pretty traditional in the sense that I make a milk or cream sauce, basically what's called a bechamel. I take that bechamel and then I add all of my cheeses into that bechamel, melt it. I then fold that into my noodles, which I always make a point not to cook my macaroni noodles 100% of the way. And this is a really great tip because what you want to happen is for the noodle to absorb the flavor of the cream sauce, right? And so I add a ton of cream sauce because I know that the noodles themselves are going to absorb a good bit of the sauce, especially after I bake it off. Now, I don't usually use breadcrumbs. I'd kind of forgotten about breadcrumbs. My mom used to do that when I was a kid. But if I were to toast some breadcrumbs, I would add like this little truffle infused oil into the breadcrumbs as well, so that I made like a little fancier kind of macaroni and cheese. So those are kind of like my three different versions. There's your regular good old-fashioned box macaroni and cheese. There is my traditional macaroni and cheese. I don't add any egg to mine. I don't even know why people do add egg, but you know, some people love it. And then if I'm really kind of feeling fancy, if I'm making something like a romantic dinner or something like that, then I start to break out the truffle. I'll add a little bit of truffle oil, like I said, to the breadcrumbs. And if I'm really feeling fancy, I'll add like a truffle puree into the sauce. So it's like truffle on truffle on truffle. Hope that helps.